I could be wrong, but I think this is rich guy's version of telling the government to take a flying leap because a whole bunch of them are packing up and leaving. The Wall Street Journal reporting a sharp surge in U.S. taxpayers renouncing their citizenship and just up and leaving the country. They have to fill a form out first to do so. A total of 1,130 of them have, joining the latest list of what the IRS calls renunciations last quarter. Those Americans who have essentially filed to file out. That is double the previous high set way back in the first quarter, and a trend that appears to be, well, picking up more steam this quarter, to Imogen Lloyd-Webber. And this Fox Business Alert. Imogen is surprisingly sympathetic with these folks, and my point of view, that you could tax people to hell, and finally they come back and say, go to hell. Imogen, on the startling development, tell us why you agree.
On some levels, yes. I mean, I have to say, I cried 3 times last week, which was a good week, about the whole US tax law thing. And that's because I'm a Brit and moving here is a nightmare. And certainly for the little guy. About compliance. About compliance. Because also, I think I have sympathy in the sense of the people that move here. And normally it's the little guys that move here, like me, trying to comply, trying to keep up with all the US tax paperwork and so forth, is a complete and utter nightmare.
Well, is it the regulation part of it, or just the sheer scope of the taxes?
It's the regulation part of it. It's to comply, you end up paying the accountant more than you could ever possibly owe in a million years. And of course, if you get one bit wrong with the IRS, then they can haunt you for the rest of your life, or it certainly feels like it.
You know, it is interesting, Lizzie, because if we're to believe this survey, you got to be hitting a wall when a lot of people decide to say, we're out of here.
Yeah, you are hitting a wall. You know what? Listen, why is this news? For God's sakes. And by the way, that number that you quoted, that was more that have left the country and, you know, basically said renounced in all of 2012.
It's news that we're doing a segment.
No, I know it's
so you could just sort of play along.
I'm saying I am playing along. It's more than everybody who renounced in 2012. But, you know, the thing is, Neil, this has been a trend that you and I have been talking about for the last 5 years. And the fact that it's
pushing it and then they go.
That's right. And I'll tell you something. You see it happening even at the local level. Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Every time that they've raised income taxes, people leave. Those cities have seen over the last decade a drop in their population. And it's gotten so bad that cities like Kansas City and St. Louis have said, you know what, if we try to hike taxes on income, then we are going to have to revisit this law frequently to make sure we didn't lose population.
So, Lenwood, what a lot of them try to do is find ways around that by not going into the income tax, but, you know, every other type of tax so that maybe the rich don't notice, I guess. What do you make of that?
Well, Neil, this is really about why we need tax reform. It's so complicated that people just say enough. They throw up their hands and just say enough. So I think this really shows, Neil, that we need a comprehensive reform of the U.S. tax code.
You know what I think, Imogen, whether you're a Brit or American, when you up and leave your country over tax rates, maybe you're not that patriotic.
Well, yes, on some levels, and this is why I'm saying my sympathy goes with the little guy who's often caught up in all this tax code.
Well, are you a citizen of both countries?
No, I am a green card holder here, so I'm a permanent resident here.
So you've kissed the motherland goodbye.
Well, no, I'm still a UK citizen, however, so I've just got to...
But you haven't renounced the Queen?
No, I have to comply, but I have to comply taxation-wise in both countries, and it's incredibly tough. No, there is a double jeopardy rule.
Oh, okay.
We do have a treaty.
Understood.
I mean, the Brits and Americans do still talk a little bit.
And we love you to death, and who could forget Monty Python? No, seriously, guys, thank you very, very much.
Sure.
I know they both have to get hopping. In the meantime, here I thought Donald Trump